Hi everyone, I am Anthony Chan, and this is my presentation on contrasting learning spaces. This is for education facilities, EDL 955. Since I'm not working within a specific school district or in a classroom or a school, I'm going to go ahead and contrast two different learning spaces, which would be the classrooms in Texas and the classrooms in Trinidad and Tobago. I live in Texas and I was born in Trinidad and Tobago. The authors, Strong, Wilson, and Ellis, stated that children's experiences are limited by their surroundings. The environment we provide for them has a crucial impact on the way a child's brain develops. So therefore, let's take a look at these two pictures that I have here. On the left, Texas, to the right, Trinidad, classroom in Trinidad. If you look at the classroom in Texas, which you could recognize it by the flag that is above it, um, you know, we can see that it's very organized, where to the right is very crowded. But we must keep in mind that students spend much of their day in classrooms, and the level of upkeep, the ambient noise, lighting, indoor air quality, and or thermal comfort of the school's physical building and its location within the community are critical to our students' learning and morale. Let's continue looking at environment and learning. The learning environment in a classroom is vital to student success and impacts students in many ways. A negative learning environment or setting that adversely affects students' learning can affect students in many ways, such as low students' achievement, poor behavior, student anxiety, or depression. A positive learning environment allows students to feel comfortable and confident as learners. If you look to the left and you look at this classroom, you can see order, you can see organization. Therefore, the classroom to the left really inspires learning, whereas the classroom to the right can produce anxiety and can even produce depression. The classroom structure seems disorganized and without any kind of order. So, when you look at those two classrooms, it really seems that the one in Trinidad is not catering to the well-being and the success of students. Let's look at seating arrangements in these two classrooms. We have to keep in mind that the influence of seating arrangements for learning is extremely important. Studies have reported that seating arrangements impact the learning process. Students occupying the front rows are more attentive than those in the back. The students in the front are the ones who generally answer questions that have been asked. Okay. Researchers also say that the physical outlay reflects a teacher's teaching style. But if teachers want to collaborate in small groups, for example, they can organize their tables or clusters of desks, whole group discussions. They will probably try using a circle or U-shaped desk configuration. If they plan to do an individualized self-paced curriculum, then they should set up learning situations. If you look to the left, this classroom lends for a variety of classroom seating arrangements, such as traditional horseshoe or the U-shape, or even a modular seating arrangement. Wherefore, if you look at the right, the classroom in Trinidad, it's very difficult to obtain different seating arrangements. The space is very small, and therefore, to have an effective seating arrangements will be very difficult because of limited space. Researchers say that a semicircle encourages interaction and enables all students to see each other. Thus, it enhances learning, which when we look at the classroom in Trinidad, that is going to be very difficult to accomplish. When we look at these two classrooms, we see the one to the left has great lighting, the one to the right, limited lighting. We see lots of space for both the students and teachers to move around, and the one to the right, little space for both students and teachers to move around. Lots of wall space for activities for the picture on the left, yet to the right, there's limited space for activities. Actually, if you look at the picture to the right, the wall that is to the right, the blocks that they build the structure with, they have holes in it. If you look at these two classrooms, it's one building divided by blackboards. Also, the one to the left, this building has central air, whereas the one to the right, we have fans. Each student has his own desk when we look at the classroom from Texas, whereas the classroom from Trinidad, the students have to share the desk. When it comes to school safety, when a child feels safe, actually his curiosity becomes alive. Okay, so therefore, decent, safe, and secure facilities are essential to making a positive school climate in which students can learn. Creating a safe, positive environment is necessary even in order for teachers to teach effectively. Facilities in good condition, including low noise levels, cleanliness, access to clean air and water, and absence of overcrowding are not only conducive to learning, but essential for students, staff, overall health, and well-being. When you look at the classrooms to the right, they're overcrowded, no space to move around. Even the teachers themselves can't move around in such a crowded classroom. But when you look at the pictures in the left, there's a lot of space. Should in case a fire were to take place, the students have easy access to exit the building. Whereas the picture to the right, the students would have very, very difficult access to exit the building. Safety includes how furniture is arranged and organized and how materials are stored and maintained, how clean the classroom is, and the overall color, brightness. These are important things to keep in mind when we discuss safety. Imagine a classroom that has very little light, dirt on the floor, messy bookshelves, broken supplies. The question is, who wants to be there? When we look at the structure and how the students feel welcomed, if you look at the schools from Texas, we have the first one, Pomeroy Elementary, then we have Judd M. Lewis Elementary, then we have Benavides Elementary. These are exceptional schools. They invite learning. When we look at the one to the right, San Juan Presbyterian School, which I do have to say that that's the elementary school I attended when I was a kid, it has a different feel. There's no home feeling. When you look at the buildings, the ventilation, for example, we in Trinidad they have blocks that they use for the school ventilation, whereas in our schools, we have air conditioning. Look at the structure; they're all made of blocks. No specific comfortable design, just a building that they can put students in. Okay, and here we can see the vents. I'm circling them. that they use in these building structures. Okay. Now, when you look at the ones in Texas, actually I had a cousin that came, and when he looked at one of these elementary schools, he said, "Wow, is this a university?" But the structure makes the students feel welcome. The structure makes the students want to learn. In Texas, all schools require what we call the HVAC system to control indoor climate, and if they are to provide an environment that is conducive to learning, they need a system like this. Whereas in the Caribbean, or in Trinidad, sorry, we are not pushing this because I guess because of the the atmosphere that we're dealing with, the climate. In Trinidad we have just two seasons, rainy season and dry season, whereas in Texas we have all four seasons. But it's also very costly for our schools to have central air, or even this system, which is the HVAC system. When we look at the technology in our schools, the schools in Texas are already equipped for technology, like for internet access and all those. If you look at the picture to the right, the walls in Trinidad, they barely have plugs for to plug certain electrical equipment that they have to use, but they are not equipped for technology. The professional standards that I see that are tied to this project, I looked at Standard 3, which ensures that each student has equitable access to effective teaching, learning opportunities, academic and social support, and other resources necessary for success. I also see that Standard 4E promotes the effective use of technology, which we don't see in Trinidad School, in the service of teaching and learning. Standard 5A build and maintain a safe, caring, and healthy school environment that meets the academic, social, emotional, and physical needs of the students. And 7A indicates that we should develop a workplace condition for teachers and other professional staff that promote effective professional development, practice, and student learning. When I look at these standards, basically none of these standards can be tied to the schools in Trinidad, whereas the school in Texas, yes, I could. Thank you very much for your attention.